Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today, William Samoei Ruto appeared very angry and made certain orders that Kenyans are still discussing to this moment. William Ruto said that anyone invading private property should be shot in the leg before he's taken to court. He was reacting to the Sabasaba movement and what transpired. One of the things that he really condemned is the invasion of police stations, because during Sabasaba, I think there was a police post in Naivasha that was torched. Before that, there was another police post that was torched in Homa Bay when youths were protesting against the death of Albert Ojwang. Now, barely a few hours after those orders, Gen Zs stormed a police station in Kiambu, demanding for the release of one of their own whom they felt was being maliciously held. And I've watched this video over and over again because our country is degenerating into anarchy, courtesy of a government that lacks the persuasive power to deal with our youths, a government that does not want to uphold the rule of law. First of all, this is Ruto speaking today in anger.
Na mimi nataka niwaambie Wakenya, mtu yeyote ambaye anaenda kupiga polisi, mtu yeyote anaenda kuvamia police station, that is a declaration of war in the Republic of Kenya. It is not acceptable. Sijui kama tunaelewana, my friends. No, enough is enough. Haiwezi kuendelea tena.
Then when he thought that threats would be enough to deal with our youths, this happened, and our youths are so daring. The audacity that they have is untold. Look at this scene and you realize that our country needs to come back to its senses.
What is that? You're not going to live in fear in this country. No! This is a police station! This is a police station! Chica, police station! We are live, lazima! Hii ni mali ya umma! Hai bwana! No, hii ni mali ya umma! Hii ni mali ya umma! Let's be live! Maafisa, hii ni mali ya umma! Kwa nini unatuzuia protect police station? Unatuzuia protect police station? Tuko live demo. Ako wapi? Si tunamtaka, ako wapi? Ako wapi? Tunataka kumuona. Koti haiwezi sema aachiliwe. Ako wapi? Ako wapi? Ako wapi? Ako wapi? Ako wapi? Even the lawyer has been attacked. She was posted here. Koti imesema aachiliwe, and there is a court order. Si tupewe Wanjiko. We are living in a country where namkuwe live nyi wote. Yeah. Namkuwe live nyi wote. We wakili sema. We are live. Hey. No. No, we are. Hey. Ni sawa.
Mini media. Mini media. Mini media. Mini media.
You know, as a parent, when you watch such scenes, they're very difficult to behold, because I was imagining that police station has got an armory where weapons are held. And having seen the conduct of our policemen, like the other day during Sabasaba, they were saying, niko na haki ya kukuua, utalala kwa friji leo. A police, department that has been made to understand that their work is to kill. And I was looking at those people pushing them. There was that direct confrontation. I feel for them. I feel for them. I really feel for them. But where did the Reds start beating us? Why exactly is this happening? Why do you think, this young generation, Kenyans at large, have decided liwe liwalo? This is coming against the backdrop of Albert Ojwang. The police is supposed to maintain law and order. And if there is one of the assumed safest places, this should be the police stations. That is where you go to report when your life is in danger, when you feel threatened. But the police have turned police stations into conduits of death. People are still asking what exactly happened. And the way they started explaining, they were trying to hide the truth by telling us that Albert Ojwang had committed suicide by hitting himself on the walls of the cell of Central Police Station. That is where hell broke loose. So people don't trust the police. They don't trust the police cells. So when your person is in, you hear that someone has been apprehended and they've been taken to a police cell, you wonder about their safety. The work of the police is supposed to, they're allowed to arrest you. And it's even within the constitution, they are allowed to, detain you in a police cell, not less than 24 hours. I think that is the constitution. But apparently now, Kenyans don't really trust that you are safe in the police cells. And I believe this is the reason why they always want to know after 24 hours what exactly is happening to our person. Then there are illegal arrests and abductions. Instead of the police coming to tell you why you've been arrested, or just arresting you in a constitutional manner, they drag you into their vehicles, the Subarus. They go with you. In such cases, your people would want to understand what is happening. And this is the reason why Kenyans have decided to take the law into their hands. Like I said, it is dangerous. But Kenyans are saying, we are not safe anymore. The way the police are dealing with people during demonstrations has really caused a rift between the civilian and the police itself. I remember Kibaki and Uhuru tried even to change the name. It was the Kenya police, I don't know, the disciplined police. I remember Uhuru Kenyatta ordered the police to stop the way they used to segregate themselves in their own, cottages. But Uhuru wanted them to interact with people, mingle with us as they live among us, thinking that this would create a rapport between us. But it is not happening, because I did really want to know the kind of training these people are given. I was talking to a person who was telling me ya kwamba polisi anakuona kama raia. Hiyo the word raia sijui ni nini. They will tell their wives, unajua wewe ni raia. And someone was telling me that when you go for such trainings, hiyo uraia inatolewa kwako so that, I don't know, you become a beast. I really want Kenya to come back to normalcy. Because if we continue in this trajectory, we are lost. You'll also realize that Gen Zs believe that it is their moment to change this country. And when you talk to them, they will say that they left it for their parents for too long, and their parents have been either compromised, hoodwinked, or have just decided to sit back and watch things degenerating. And they simply believe that they can do it in their own way. Once the highest authority decided that he was not going to obey the constitution, do you remember when William Ruto was saying that he will not obey court orders? And he was even telling us that he was given a sword to deal with those who did not want to toe the line. It was either his way or the highway. Aliambiwa our policemen should not go to Haiti, alisema wanaenda. When some people, the Law Society of Kenya, among other groups, took this case against the Shah to court, against the housing levy, William Ruto said, sitacheza na nyinyi, wacheni mchezo. When he decided that he was not going to obey the law, I remember there was this complaint from a very big concern from lawyers. Legal minds say, we are plunging this country into anarchy. And that is exactly what is happening. When you don't obey the law as the president, as the executive, when at some point the courts had ordered that Azimio was the majority coalition, and then when they get to parliament, Moses Wetangula, under the guise of separation of powers, says hiyo koti iseme tu, lakini hapa mimi ndio kusema, hakuna kitu kama Azimio ndio majority, mimi ndio naamua nani majority. We have set a precedent that we cannot obey the law. And this is why these Gen Zs are not obeying the law. They want to take the law into their hands, which is very dangerous. You know, when such things happen, you know, the police will take advantage. Watasema tulivamiwa. And with the orders from the police, from Murkomen himself, who is the interior CS, with the orders from William Ruto himself, who is the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces. I remember Ray Omolo, who is the PS, and Murkomen were congratulating the police for a job well done during the Sabasaba demonstrations. We really need to have a conversation. And the conversation that we should have is not about compromising our values or compromising. We need to have one conversation that you must govern in accordance to the constitution. You must abide by the laws of this land. That is the only conversation that we need to have. Gen Zs are determined, and these people have got the courage of a lion. And I know the consequences could be very detrimental, but they have decided. If all this courage is going to be turned into votes, William Ruto is in problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we really need to condemn this act of taking laws into our hands. But the police is the one that is causing all this. There is no trust. There is trust deficit between the police and the wananchi. The way they abduct people, the way they arrest. It is very sad that the institutions that are supposed to maintain law and order are the ones that have been used to play partisan politics. I don't know what you think about that clip there, but to me, It's somehow very disturbing. I don't know what to think, ladies and gentlemen.